Welcome back to the Talking Hedge. I'm Josh Kincaid, and this is a cannabis business podcast. As the cannabis industry pushes towards legitimization and legalization, it's important to know that there's some people who just don't care about anything but money. It's really unfortunate when there's testing and you find that there's mold. There's actually billboards that say mold to gold, meaning that if you have moldy product, they will buy that and they will convert it into a finished product like a joint that you can't see the mold, or into extract or oil. During that process, they think it's going to remove some of that mold, and it just won't. And so there's been some testing in Washington State, although not required. Some of the rec shops have been taking it upon themselves, like Uncle Likes, to have what's called an OK program, where it's okay to consume or use the product because it's been tested, even though not required by state. Washington is weird. They aren't requiring heavy metal testing and certain pesticides. And so there's a vape cartridge that was tested with Eagle 20. And when you burn that, it's a carcinogen. That's not good. There's other stuff. I'll get into this article by Jim McCrae, where 10 pre-rolls were tested and all of them had mold, 100%. So I refuse to really buy anything in the rec market anymore unless it's organic and natural, pesticide free, and tested. This article was written by Jim McCrae from Straight Line Analytics. The Washington State Liquor and Cannabis Board has not required any product within Washington's regulatory cannabis market to be tested for yeast and or molds. The Liquor and Cannabis Board now considers moldy bud to be fit for human consumption, so long that the mold hasn't produced an unacceptable level of certain mycotoxins known to have negative impact on exposed humans and other lab creatures. Earlier this month, Uncle Ike's OK program for customer safety testing ran its first batch of pre-roll tests. 5 samples of non-infused and 5 samples of infused pre-rolls were sent to the Medicinal Creek Analytics for the full suite of I-502 for potency and quality, and pesticides and heavy metal testing. Prior to the sample run, Uncle Ike's program had focused on both flower and concentrates. Pre-rolls are also popular in inhaled products, so felt that it should be included in the testing program. The certificates of analysis for these 10 samples are now posted on the website ikes.com/OK. Any samples that failed the required QA test have been pulled from the shelves of Uncle Ike's. All 10 of the pre-roll samples tested showed levels of yeast and mold in excess of the previous maximum allowed levels of 10,000 CFUs, or colony-forming units per gram. This is a 100% failure rate against a quality standard that no longer officially exists in Washington. The Liquor and Cannabis Board thinks it's okay. I don't believe that levels of yeast and molds and measured at the hundreds of thousands per gram of product is acceptable. I don't view such products as fit for human consumption. If I wanted more mold in my diet, I'd eat brie. I would not roll up a joint, cone, spliff, blunt with moldy bud or trim and then consume it or share it with friends. It'd be nice for Washingtonians if one of the sourcing options for safe legal products was from their own, preferably unregulated gardens. That would give people that care about what they put in or don't put into their bodies some control over the quality of their cannabis. The state legislature is now considering a pair of bills that would allow Washington adults to grow up to 6 plants each legally, a right which Washingtonians are currently denied, and the only state that doesn't have home grow. One of the very few cases in which the use of cannabis is recognized to have resulted in a human death is a case in where an immune-compromised patient was smoking moldy bud and developed a lung infection from the same mold, leading to that patient's death. Cannabis is a relatively safe product, certainly more than that of alcohol, nicotine, opiates, and methamphetamines. But let's not allow the fungus-infested products to compromise this most fundamental of cannabis's many advantages. It's actually really sad to see local people in the Washington marketplace feel that their back is against the wall and that their margins are so thin and that they have almost a right to some profit margins and they will do anything to get it. And that's sad to me. I would think that that's reserved for, the corporate conglomerates that are soon to be coming in, not for the people that have gotten into it already. So I will no longer be buying pre-rolls that are not organic, natural, pesticide free, but tested. And that includes oil, all products. I'm not going to be buying any joints or any vape pens that don't fit those guidelines. It's just not worth it. And with that, we're going to roll this one up. I'm Josh Kincaid. This is the Talking Hedge, and I'm out.